Welcome back to Unpost. We are on episode 6. That is just wild to me. This whole podcast has really been a journey. And my hope is that somewhere along the way, in at least one of these episodes, you've learned something practical, something that helps you come back to yourself and live your life with more confidence. Because when you look at what we've talked about so far, what happens when women feel safe? What happens when women decide what's true? What happens when women trust themselves? What happens when women show up for themselves? What happens when women fight back? When all those things start to come together, we actually start to discover who we are. And that discovery we will talk about today is not instant. It's slow, it's layered, it's like an unraveling. It's letting go of who you thought you had to be so you can finally see who you really are underneath all of it. Can you tell this part gets me so excited? Today, I'm introducing you to my client, Lauren. We are talking about what happens when women discover who they are and what it actually looks like to get there. It's kind of a wild ride, but it's one worth taking. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here. Will you do a little intro? Just tell us who you are. Tell us all the things.
Sure. I'm Lauren. I'm in my late 30s. I'm a mom of 2, a 2-year-old and an almost 5-year-old. I started a business in Colorado almost 2 years ago, like a dermatology skincare business, and went on a crazy health journey. Not that I was sick, just that I wanted to be healthier. And I met you when I was pregnant with my second. You had done headshots with Annette, the owner of Beauty Refined.
Yep.
And I felt like she's a good friend, and I felt like her personality came through. And I was like, I need to know who that is. Because it wasn't a photo like any other photo.
Yeah.
So that's how I met you.
Yes. Yes. The beginning of the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
2 boys. That's what I do for fun.
I keep them alive.
Water parks and bike parks and dirt parks and sand
I love
and bodies of water of any kind, animals of any kind.
Yes, I love it.
In my independent time, there's not that much left, but I run a business, and now I would call that my hobby and my career.
Yes, yeah. Well, especially I feel like you're still a young business.
Oh,
You're
God,
still, and then building a team. It's like all of your free brain space goes straight to
Yes.
that baby.
And I'm trying to learn how to use AI, and I feel like I'm 90 and all these 20-year-olds know how to do it, and I don't. So I guess that's a hobby, figure out how to use AI.
Yes. So you came to me for maternity pictures.
Yes.
I'm going to jump in on that one for just a second.
Do it.
Because all of my clients are so unique. And it's so much fun when they come to me and they're like, I have this idea and this is what I want. Giving them the space of let's create that together.
Yeah.
I am not, you come to me and I can just do what I do, but I would much rather get to know you and do what we want together.
Yeah.
A vision, exactly. Which has been, we'll talk about that.
I surely have those.
Lauren has visions. And it's so much fun to bring them to life. I love it. I'm on a ride every time I have a shoot with you, and it's so much fun.
There's only been 10 of them at this point.
But when she came to me for her maternity shoot, she said to me, but I don't want boudoir. Do you remember saying that?
But I picked a boudoir photographer. Totally.
She was like, I want to shoot with you. I just don't want boudoir. And I was like, what about the boudoir piece are you saying you don't want? So I was trying, and I'm like, it's maternity too. So it's not like you came to me and you're like, I want lingerie photos, but I don't want boudoir. It was a maternity shoot. So I was like, okay, there's a reason that you would say I don't want boudoir. And I think it was like maybe halfway through the shoot, it clicked for you.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, this is why people do this. And then by the end, you were naked.
Totally true. You were like, do you want to do some perceived nudes? And I'm like, what does that mean? You're like, you're nude, but it doesn't look like you don't see anything. And I'm like I'm naked? It's like, it clicked for me. I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this. I guess so.
That wasn't on the vision board, Adina, but okay.
Cool.
Tell me your side of that,
Sure.
of being like, no boudoir, and then being like, oh, this was not what I thought it was.
So like many, many modern women, I think the relationship we have with our own body and our own self-worth, there's like a lot of meat there.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And I'm a very big pregnant person. I've been a very big pregnant person twice. And it just, the second baby was like, I know this is my last one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hate myself through this process like I did with the first one. And so what can I do to like remember this with a loving heart towards myself?
Mm-hmm.
Photos. I am the person who's had 2 rounds of family photos every year since I've had children. My husband and I did photos every year since we got married. It's like I make a memory book every year. Old school scrapbooking, not really, but like it's modern now, but
Yeah.
but I used to make scrapbooks. That was like my little kid hobby. And so this was like, I want to commemorate the photos, but I don't want to like be in the frilly, flowery paisley dress in a field holding my belly like that.
Yep.
Not that it's bad.
part
It's
of the book.
exactly. And the truth is I did those anyway.
Right. Yeah. They're great, but
This
it's
was
different.
so different. This was
Mhm.
about like me valuing myself. And I actually remember the conversation with my husband. I was like, I want to do like real maternity photos by myself. And he's like, justify the money for me.
Yeah.
That's how he's like, he's a finance guy. So it's like, give me the use case.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's not free. And it would just be me. And he's like, who's going to look at them? I'm like, me. And where are they going to go? I'm like, in the book. And he's like, but your kids are going to look at that book someday. I'm like, so?
Okay.
I didn't know I would be nude.
Right.
But that wasn't my vision at the time.
Yeah.
And so this was like, I want to find somebody who's going to help me do this in my own little emotional journey of not hating myself pregnant.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know, I saw Annette's photo and it was like, she gets it. This is a headshot, but it's so loaded. It's so emotionally charged.
Yeah.
And then I went and stalked as good as one can the crap out of you on the internet in every capacity possible. And I was like, I feel like this is the right person. And I don't know if you remember, I was like, I don't have a big budget. And you came back to me with a price. And I'm like, let me go to my husband. And I came back to you with like it's not going to work. Like I can't, I'm so sorry. And then I went away from it for a while and then I got to the end and I was so big and I was like, I gotta do it. And I was like 35 weeks pregnant or 36 weeks pregnant when we did it. And it was like, but I just went to my husband. I'm like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm doing it and I'll figure it out. So I knew going into it what I wanted to create for myself.
Yeah.
But then there was some doubt that I would be able to do it.
Okay.
Right. Like I didn't trust myself enough to be like, just buy into it.
Yeah.
So you show up and you get your hair and makeup done. And there's something beautiful about doing that and just like having a conversation. Nicole was definitely the makeup artist because she nails it every time.
Yeah.
And it was like this warm up moment. And then I had the suit and all. And
she had this white power suit.
Totally.
Pregnant, white power suit. Nothing underneath the jacket. It was
great.
phenomenal.
You delivered this vision of like, I Pinterested the crap out of it. And I was like, this is like the emotion. When you look at somebody else's photos, this is the emotion that I want to feel.
Yeah.
And so in the middle of it, you just have a way of speaking to our hearts about us. But you get us to think, it's like, yeah, have you ever had a boss that you had to be like, you got to make it their idea? This is you. You got to make it their idea.
That's so funny. I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I've had many of those, but that is you. You just make it our idea, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so, and that feeling that comes with like the oxytocin you release for yourself is like dopamine. It's like, you got to have it. And so that started this crazy journey with you. And here we are like 3-4 years later.
And that's so funny because I feel like for so long I try to tell people what I'm seeing and I've tried it but words don't do it.
No.
I've given up
You just
on that.
show us the back
and
of
now
the camera.
I'm just like, just get in here.
Uh-huh.
Just come on.
Trust me.
Just, there'll be a moment that you're like, oh, and I'll be like, see?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
And then what's so funny is like this book that I make every year that my kids are hopefully not going to look at later, but they might look at later. It has full nude me in it. And
Yeah.
if my kids see that when they're 30, they're going to be like, oh my God, mom. Like I have 2 sons, like, and I have a very masculine husband. And so like my sons are likely to be like, ew, gross.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like for me, I'm going to be like, yeah,
Yes.
that was me.
That's right.
And I love that version of me.
I think like if they saw it when they're like 15, they'll be like, ooh, gross. By 30, they'd be like, all right, mom.
Cool.
All right,
I
Mom.
hope so. I hope they're emotionally
hope so,
mature
too.
enough. Maybe 40, but like whatever.
Oh, okay, so after the maternity shoot, the next time you contacted me was for headshots.
Yes.
And again, I knew you came to me and I was like, she's got a vision. This is gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different than anything I've done before.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And now at this point, we've done 2 headshot shoots.
3. One with my team.
Yes.
Me by myself, one with Heather, one with the team.
Yes.
We're talking about a 4th, just so you know.
Yes. 3.
Because we're hiring 2 more people.
Yes. And so we were talking the other day just about that progress and just some of the fun things that have come out of that. Again, kind of pointing back to discovering who you are. There's this piece of these photo shoots that you learn about yourself.
Totally.
And it was fun this last time because, you walk in and you know what to expect.
Yes.
you're like ready to go. And even Heather at this point, she knows what's going on.
Yes.
And you've got two new girls who, I mean, they got to get in front of a camera and this might be a little bit intimidating.
Right.
And it was
they're
just
thinking headshots.
yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly. So talk a little bit about that because I just think that's so fun.
Okay, so there's a bit of an emotional journey in this too. Starting this business is come after me reinventing myself and my career 3 times. I built a practice in California, and that it was very productive by the end. Aesthetic dermatology is kind of like hairstylist in a way. It's all about the clientele you have. Nobody comes to me and says, I have this insurance, I have to see you.
Right.
They have to pick me, kind of like I have to pick you.
Yes.
It's not that different, right?
Yeah.
And so building that business or like to get to the point of profitability takes time and effort and investment of my, not only myself, but like my funds.
Yeah.
So I did that in California. I did that again in New York. And then my husband and I moved to Colorado in 2020 after COVID. And it was like an intent to start over again. For the third time, I'm starting over. And there's so much emotional weight in that. So I joined a practice here and I was there for 5 years. And the vision at the beginning was to build it myself, to build a practice I wanted to be a patient at.
Mm-hmm.
The space, aesthetic dermatology, is just messy. There's a lot of people in it for the wrong reasons, a lot of people in it to get a quick buck, a lot of people that don't believe it's very hard. And it's not that it's hard, but it requires so much more thought than the average person thinks.
Yeah.
It's meeting people where they are, kind of like you in boudoir photography, right?
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of bosses in my years that were like, you could never do this. You don't bring anything to the table. You don't make enough money to have a business of your own. And so you believe that when you hear it over and over again.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where at the end I was just like, it's time. I had a second kid. Around the time I had a second kid, it was like, I can't go back. I can't go back to that. I need to move forward from this. And so opening my business your headshots were very early on in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I want to capture how this feels in a photo such that when I put this on my website or social media, people feel what I felt.
Yeah.
Not very many photographers can deliver that. You can. And so, the second round of Power Suit and the like, I don't want a headshot that's like, oh, here's me. I'm a pretty girl. I'll do your Botox.
Yeah.
I want like, I'm going to meet you where you are and we're going to go on this journey together. And so you delivered that beautifully, of course. And then it was every time I've added to the team, it's the same. It's like, I hire these people for character. I don't hire these people for skill. Not that they're not skilled, but when I pick somebody to add to the team, it's because I believe in them as a human.
Yeah.
And I want other people to see that. I don't want other people to be like, oh, another nurse injector. Here we go. It's like, no, like this is a beautiful woman with 3 kids or 4 kids. And she's doing this to like give her daughters the same dream that she had. There's so much emotion there.
Yeah.
And so, bringing them into the shoot, it's funny. Heather knew what to expect, and so when we were together, like we are each other's hype girl.
Yes.
It's so easy, and it makes it so much better because I'm standing behind you like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yes.
And then Heather just feels it,
Yeah. Yeah.
But bringing 2, they were relatively new hires when we did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a ton of, like relationship experience with them. We did a lot of interviews, but like how much you really know someone from interviews.
Yeah. And an interview is very different than showing up to a photo shoot. Like there's
Yes.
vulnerability happening that's like different than any question you can ask them.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so I remember you were like, I want you to make them go first. And I'm like, why? Right. And your reason was they can't go after you. And I was like, I don't understand. You're like, you get this. There's a chemistry there. They're going to be so intimidated by it. And I'm so glad we did it that way because it's so true. Everybody's got to have that moment.
Yeah.
And letting them experience it without pressure.
Yeah.
Was so helpful. And
Yeah.
now they're all like, yep, I want to do a boudoir shoot with you. I think my whole team has now done photo shoots with you. And I warned the new girl who hasn't joined yet. I'm like, probably by the end of 2026, you're going to do a boudoir photo shoot. Just
You'll
be
have to take a
prepared.
picture, just so you know.
Has nothing to do with my business. Trust me, you're going to do it.
It's contagious. It's contagious.
Oh my gosh. And
No,
here we are.
I love that. I love it. And I've just loved watching them just come into their own. And there's a few things I want to say about your practice. From the very beginning, when you started it, I was like, she's doing something different. We see these pop up all the time and I meet tons of people who do this. I'm like, she's doing something different. And I never could really put my finger on it. Right. And then as I've watched you educate and grow, it's just very different. And I, again, probably can't put my finger on it, but I will say one of my favorite moments with you was the other day at Kegels and Cocktails.
Yeah.
She brought her whole team and they're doing all this stuff in this room and educating women and showing them what they do. And at one point, I step out of my room where I'm showing what I do as well. And I just see Lauren kind of standing there, and I like walk over and I'm like, hey. And she's like, hey. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, her room was full of women, full. And she's like, I'm letting my team do their thing. And I'm like, how freaking amazing are you that you're just you trust them,
Yeah.
even as this type A
Yeah.
personality who we want to control everything.
Yeah.
You trust them.
Yeah.
And you get out of the way and you're like, what? This is what we're doing, and we're doing it together.
Yeah. So the aura is this device that takes 3D images of your face and it gives you a numeric score on pigmentation or redness or wrinkles or whatever. And it's a vulnerable moment for a woman. You sort of get a personalized journey through this little, very mini consultation process.
Yes.
But that is what we are about, right? It's like, it's the relationship piece. And so I was like, well, my schedule's sort of full. I don't need these people to buy into me. I need these people to buy into the people,
Right.
my team.
Yes.
And so it was like,
that was cool.
get out of the way and let you guys do what you're passionate about.
So cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And that comes with a confidence from you, I will say. Like, there's a confidence in going, I don't need to be in there overlooking everything, a confidence in your team, but just a confidence in yourself to go, like, I'm good. I'm good. You know,
I made good decisions.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about this episode. When
Okay.
you hear the phrase discover who you are, does that mean anything to you?
For
like,
sure.
what does that mean? Give me a little insight.
I think as young women, we are given an identity and we don't have as much of a choice in it. As weird as that is, you learn from your sisters, your moms, your aunts and uncles, your female role models, and you sort of learn what your identity is supposed to look like. And I think some girls are probably more vulnerable to this than others. And maybe this is too far, but I'm a believer. And so when you're raised in the church or in a Christian school, they're like, well, you should get your identity from God. And what does that mean to a 12-year-old girl? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pressure, if anything.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Proverbs 31. I'm supposed to be what? What?
Let me tell you the list of what you're supposed to
Right?
be.
Like,
Yes.
let me check the boxes.
Yes.
Right. And so I think as women mature, college is maybe the first time I had to be alone without my mom or a female role model telling me who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And choosing my own consequences in some ways, right? Grad school is the next step. Then sort of like you launch yourself into the working world and it's like, go figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can call your mom and you can call your sisters and your friends, but it's like, figure out who you want to be and figure out your own why.
Yeah.
And so there's almost a rediscovery.
Yep.
And then something happens, like you get married or you have a baby or something hard or you launch a business or it's like, wow, I don't know anything about myself. What do I actually believe in? What's the why?
Yeah.
And so the rediscovery process, I think, happens in our 30s or 20s, depending on, when you do a lot of major milestones in life. And that is when you actually grow into your own.
Yeah.
Right. You're framing your own why and your own decisions. And for me, that happened way later.
Yeah. So way later, as in when?
30s.
Yeah.
Like
30s.
I started the journey in my 30s. I got married at 27.
Yeah.
And I had my first baby at 32, second baby at 35. It's like rediscovering myself after my first kid was rediscovering myself after my second kid. My second kid's only 2, by the way. So this is like,
we're in it.
I'm like in lap 1 of, all of the laps. But like every time I go through something, it's like, what do I go back to? And that's ultimately the self-discovery or identity that I've given myself or made decisions about later.
Yeah. Do you feel like you just learned that in the past few years? Did you feel like you already had that in you?
No. Maturity.
Yeah.
I think that's a maturation process too, of understanding that you're in control.
Yes.
And your identity doesn't have to be framed by anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Literally, I feel like as we grow up, we have people tell us who we are.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, okay, I guess that's
now
who
I'm
I
the
am
wife.
then.
Now I'm the, I'm an employee. I'm an assistant. I'm,
Yeah.
And so I think I've only woken up to the idea of self-discovery in adulthood.
When was that point you started to step into this? I need to discover who I am. Was there a point that went, oh, something's going on here?
2 kids. Let me just summarize and say,
Yep, 100%.
going through pregnancy and then so I had a COVID baby and most of prenatal appointments were done alone because of COVID.
Yeah.
My husband and I moved across the country away from all of our friends and family. I knew nobody when I was pregnant. We moved to Denver with not a single contact except my younger brother who ended up moving, but like was here at the time. And so it was like, it's COVID. We're at six, like social distancing, like don't go
Yeah.
do anything with people. And I'm a bit of an introvert. So when I go to work and I just emotionally invest in people all day, I get home and I'm like, no, drinks is not on my list today.
Yeah.
That's just
Not
not.
today.
And so I was super isolated, having to like go through the newborn process. And I had my first kid did not like to sleep. And I'm somebody who needs 9 hours of sleep. So like
That
there
does
was,
not work well together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, postpartum depression, I think, was very real. I never got formally diagnosed, but I could attest to it now. And
Yes.
so in the bottom of that moment, I'm like, I won't survive this if I don't start doing something for myself.
Mhm.
That would be the second one. The first one, more, I was running at this career of mine, working for somebody else. And I went from one kind of gross employment situation to a different gross employment situation. And I'm sitting in a booth with my boss and her business partner, and they said some things. And in my head, I'm like, that is not me.
Yeah.
What you're saying is not me, no matter how you want to frame it. Those actions that you're trying to put together to paint this picture, that's not me. So Facebook was really big back then. And I had made Instagram, this is probably 2016. I made an Instagram page, and you know how you have to pick a category on Instagram that's like photographer,
Yeah.
lifestyle. Back then there were not very many categories. There was like 15.
Yeah.
And one of them was doctor, one of them, and then you under doctor you picked a specialty. And so in the time at the moment, I was working in dermatology and I picked dermatologist, but I'm a PA for context. And so I'm not a dermatologist. I'm a dermatology PA, but that was not a category. There are
Yeah.
100,000 PAs in the country at the time.
Yeah.
That was not a category. So I ended up on this hate Facebook page where this group of female dermatologists came after me to say I was falsely representing myself as a physician. Let me just say that was a bit of a dramatic situation. My
Yeah.
boss, who was a female dermatologist, came to me and said, I got a phone call today, and I've been told that you are doing all these things. And I'm like, I,
I picked a category on a social media
right,
platform.
right. And I have 8 posts and 3 followers. And, like,
Who is even seeing this?
but the fear in the moment. So in the bottom of that moment, I was freaking out and I was like, this is just not who I am. And I
Yeah.
need to, like, I can't stay working for this person. I did for 2 more years, but like, it started this figure out who I want to be, and launching the Instagram at the time when, people, not every business was on social media,
Right.
but it was like, who do I want to frame myself to be? So those 2 moments, rediscovering myself after kids and having gone through this weird social media hate moment, was like, you got to figure out who you are,
Right.
because you got to put it out there.
Yeah. And if you let everybody else tell you who you're supposed to be or who you are, how long can you really hold on to that? Because
Never.
what are you
Yeah.
coming back to? You're coming back to what you've been told you are.
Yeah.
And
And then
that's
when you run out
never
of
gonna.
rules, what do
Yeah.
you have to pick your own rules?
Yes. I saw a thing on social media the other day and it said something like, be you so that the people who need you can find you.
Totally.
And I thought that was a really cool way of us starting this. How do we discover who we are? And the reason why we do it. It is so that when we need to come back to ourselves, we have a solid foundation.
For sure.
And it's also so that, like, as we express this 100% who I am, there's people who go, that's what I've been looking
For
for.
sure.
Whether it's in a professional setting or it's in a friendship or a relationship or even just somebody at the grocery store you ran into and you needed that moment of eye contact and whatever. Like, when you are fully you, there is this piece that you're playing in this world. I truly feel that
For
way.
sure.
And when you're holding back, people are missing you.
For sure.
And so that's this like deep core feeling for me in this episode. Step into who you are. And that takes a lot of work. This
Yes.
is this is not something that you just wake up one day and I'm going to be who I am.
Mhm.
It's in getting to know yourself. It's in trial and error.
It's sort of like, here's a guardrail, here's a guardrail, let's make this little narrower and narrower until you're kind of walking the path that you feel so authentic in.
Yes. Would you say that there's anything you had to let go of to become who you are now?
For sure. And it's just the identity that everybody else gave me, right?
Yeah.
Every relationship I've ever had, like romantic relationship, they give you an identity in some way. Every
Yeah.
friendship you've ever had. I was not the most girly girl in high school. Like, I hung out with a bunch of dudes. We played poker on Friday nights. Like, platonic poker, no alcohol, no stripping,
No stripping.
no like actual poker for real money. And I was terrible at poker. I lost $20 every single week, but like I was an athlete. It's like, it's what I did. And so those guys gave me an identity of like, she's not a girl. Right.
Yeah.
But inside, I for sure was a girl doing my hair and makeup before I would go to those things.
Right.
Not that I was interested in dating any of them.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Maybe.
Maybe one. The cool one. But like every phase of life, especially as a young female, it's like you're given these pieces of identity that somebody else says and you're like, huh, maybe they're right. Maybe, there wasn't even a doubt. And
Yeah.
so I think you have to release all of those along the way and figure out what they are first. Like, why do I do this? Why do I behave this way? Why does this cause me to feel shame or guilt?
Yeah.
Right? Why does this behavior of like going on a girls' weekend? My mom was the hardest working human I've ever seen. Like that woman threw 100% of herself in everything she committed to. She took care of a women's home for a while. It was like her whole existence. She, took care of her family. It was her whole existence. So I didn't know what that looked like outside of that. So that was me. It was like, no, I have to get an A+ on every activity.
Yeah.
Right. There is no B. There's no B+.
Yeah.
I was like a very, very good student. I did not get a 4.0, just for context.
Still haunts me.
It still gets me. And even when I tried,
Yeah.
but I think releasing those little things along the way and being like, this is my identity. It begins here. I think about it. This is what I want to believe about myself. This is what I want my kids to learn from me, right? Like,
Yeah.
it all becomes a bit of a choice.
Yeah.
But you have to be aware of that choice.
Yes. And it's uncomfortable.
Totally.
To like face that head on and be like, I'm going to let go of that. I mean, sometimes it's very freeing, but what comes from it, whether it's in relationships or, like the paths you always travel that now you got to go a different way, like it's not comfortable.
No.
It's a hard thing. I wrote down relationships because that's one of the biggest things is once we start letting go of who we were told we were supposed to be.
Yeah.
And stepping into this, there are people who aren't going to like that.
Yeah. I honestly, I have a really funny story. So the guy I dated in grad school, he was a student in my PA school and he was a little bit older than me. He was the rebound guy, if I had to be honest. He didn't know that about himself, but he was the rebound guy that I tried so hard to be like, I want to marry this man. Because I was living in Alabama at the time and everybody was having babies and I was single.
You're like, this is the one.
I'm just going to make this man the man.
He will be the one.
And nobody's emotionally healthy in that age, much less that state of this being the rebound guy of my husband, who I'm now married to, by the way. And
he rebounded the rebound guy.
I dated two guys in between my husband and my husband.
Perfect.
And I dated my husband in between the two of them as well. So that says anything.
Oh, that's amazing.
But like when we broke up, he gave me a piece of loose leaf paper and written in red pen, he gave me 31 things that I needed to change about me in order for the relationship to continue. It was both sides.
Wow.
And some of them were really minor. But some of them were like deep. And I can't remember a specific one, but it's like one of those moments of like, I don't have to do all these things.
Right.
You're the rebound guy. Not that I thought about that. Like, I don't have to do all these things. Like, somebody out there is going to choose me without these 30, with all 31
Did
of
you
them.
have a moment, though, looking at it, like, maybe I could do this? Or were you just absolutely not?
Full transparency, I called my husband. And I said, I was like crying and I was driving between my house and the hospital where I was going for a shift. And it was one of my overnight shifts. So it's like, my whole circadian rhythm screwed up. My emotional tolerance for anything is in the floor, right? Yeah. And I'm bawling and he's like, who cares? He's one dude. Obviously, I think my husband wanted to date me at the time. Like there's some emotional trauma there. Like, get over it, right? But he was so right. He's like, you don't have to do any of that. There's some guy out there who's not going to care about the way that you put forks in the drawer or whatever. I don't remember.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Like forget about it.
But what a beautiful thing. You had a safe space in him to say, listen to this, instead of just spiraling and like, well, maybe I could at least do 28 of them. Do you think that would be enough to keep him?
Right. Oh my gosh. I hope he never listens to it because he will know exactly who he is. He's married with kids now, by the way. And she's lovely.
He'll never talk about this episode. Even if he listens to it, he'll be like, shh.
It wasn't me.
She wasn't talking about me. What is the difference between looking confident and feeling at home in your body? Let's have a little conversation about this.
I'm not sure I'm there yet.
Really?
No. We'll find out in 2 days.
This is...
We'll see.
Yes, Lauren is getting in front of my camera in 2 days.
Right.
Mostly naked.
Mostly.
I just think that this is a cool concept because I've met a lot of people who look confident
Totally. With all
and
the self-doubt in the world.
so much self doubt.
Mhm.
And then I've met a lot of people that you may come across them and they just seem like a normal person. And I'm sure they deal with everything. But really, when you get down to the core of who they are so at home in their body. Most women who come to me for a shoot, right? They are wanting to feel confident.
Yeah.
And the pictures would show them looking confident.
Yeah.
But the true beauty and power that comes out of these shoots is feeling at home in their body.
Mhm.
So although those two things end up colliding, there's a difference.
Mhm. Mhm. I think when you say feel at home in your body, there's really two ways to think about that. Their physical body, right?
Yes.
Like the way they look in a photo when they put on some skimpy outfit or whatever, wearing the crop top. Um, but there's also like their body as a whole,
Mhm.
as a like a vessel of themselves. You know what I mean? And I think those two aren't necessarily one and the same.
Yeah.
The woman who's fully confident in herself as a being, the body isn't as relevant.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
the wrinkle here or the cellulite there or the mole here, like it's less relevant because you are so at home in your skin
Yes.
and your mind, right? So I think those are not necessarily one and the same things. And
Yeah.
the woman who's like, no, I love my body and I want to flaunt it and whatever, she might not be the other one,
Right.
right? She might not be, there's maybe she is, the bodybuilder of sorts and is like a 12 physically, but like there's more to that picture,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Do you feel like you can discover who you are without connecting to your body?
You mean physically?
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I don't think the body is like that relevant in
Yeah.
discovering who you are.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I imagine the clientele that you sit down with, they want to do that shoot for so many reasons, right? But I don't know that it really has to, deep down, does it really have to do with them feeling pretty in their skin? I think it's probably deeper than that,
Right.
whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're taking these pictures for your husband, for your partner, for yourself, like what's the actual story there, right? If
Yeah.
you sat down to digest it enough, it's probably not just, I think I look hot or I want to think I look hot.
Yes.
I think it's bigger than that.
Yeah. I almost hope that in the process of working with me, I help you get your body out of the way.
Yeah.
Like you can go, oh, I did look hot in that photo. And then just let it go.
It's less relevant.
It is less relevant because it really is about the woman who you are.
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the most beautiful things. Like, again, you coming to me and going, I want maternity photos,
But not
not boudoir. And then it's like going, oh, wait, that's what she does. Which I don't know how many times I've wanted to take boudoir out of my business name just because it's different
It's
than
so
that.
different.
Like,
Yeah.
I know it is shaped, like
Yeah.
looks like, smells like, but that's not,
It's so much bigger.
it's so much bigger than that. It's like, let me let your body just get out of the way,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because it's literally what I photograph.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how that works.
But if you look at my team, right? So I employ all moms, all women between the ages of 34 and 42. The fact that they all want to do a follow-up shoot with you says something about their headshots. We did headshots.
Yeah.
They were in like business casual, right? Like, yeah, they had their hair and makeup done and like it was pretty, but like we did business casual photos. And we're looking at like less than 6 months. Every single one of the team is scheduled to do more than that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it's like they get the little bit of taste of like what this journey could look like and how to facilitate that process. And I think we're all working on ourselves to some degree.
Yeah.
But to like make a major move for yourself like this.
Yeah.
Some people go to wellness retreats. Some people do boudoir photography, but
Right.
ultimately they're looking for the same resolution.
Yes. I remember when you guys were leaving that day, we're like all loaded up and we're exhausted. We had done every shoot you can think of, all the clothes, like the cleanup and the props. And oh, it was amazing. Amazing. And everyone's leaving. And I'm like, wait, I missed telling them something because with one client at some point we'll look at each other and kind of go,
Yeah.
and we'll have like a little debrief. Again, I'm
We
the
got
boss
here.
that's giving, it's your idea.
You're right.
But I had kind of like missed this and I'm like, here they go. They're going to go out and they're going to be like, well, because I got my hair and makeup done
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and because I had this pretty outfit and Adina took a pretty picture of me that day, I was awesome. And I was like, oh, hold on, stop. And I stopped you guys at the door and made you all turn around
Totally,
and look at me.
You did. I won't forget it.
I was like, eye contact. Are you
Right
all
now.
with me? And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I wanted you to know that who you are in these photos is who you are.
That's exactly what you said. The
Perfect.
makeup and hair doesn't matter. In
Yes.
a nutshell, it's like the makeup and hair is irrelevant. This is you guys.
Yeah. I don't go home and take this off and, wake up tomorrow with your hair all over the place and, spit up on your shoulder because you got baby, whatever it is. Don't go, well, I wish I could just be what I was yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
because you are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever still doubt yourself? Like,
For sure.
Yeah, she's been saying this all along. This is a journey.
Yes. And I don't think it has an end.
No, I don't think it has an end. And like I said, it's been so fun to watch you. You discover different parts of yourself, whether it's with opening your business or hiring a team. That was a whole new thing, right? Like, because it's not just going to be you. You're going to have hands that you are not controlling.
Yeah.
With your patients, and then even in coming into this shoot we're doing on Wednesday, it's been so fun to go. It's almost like you find the places that you're like, I doubt that. Like,
Let's go work on it.
Yes.
Right? But it seriously works for me.
Yes. Okay. Can I tell them what we're doing on Wednesday?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So since Lauren shot with me, maternity boudoir, but it wasn't really boudoir.
I didn't put on lingerie.
Yes, exactly. And then headshots 3 times,
Yeah.
which a couple of times you didn't have your shirt on for. I was like, let me just take this picture real quick.
It's so funny. I'm in like full Spanx, and I'm wearing I've worn a white suit in every photo.
Yes,
just a different white suit. Yep. The number of white suits in my closet. My husband's like, do you need another one? I'm like, but I have a different body.
Yes,
I do. I can't tailor it.
I do need another one.
So I'm standing against the wall with my hand up, and like all you see is Spanx.
Yes.
And I'm like giving you like almost like a sarcastic, sultry look. Like, I can't believe you're taking a photo of me in my Spanx, but it's one of my favorite pictures.
It's so good.
It's like kind of like a proverbial middle finger.
Yes.
In a way. Do you know what I mean?
You're like, fine, Adina.
Exactly. But it's so, it so embodies the moment.
Yes. So at that last headshot shoot with her team is going, I want to shoot boudoir with you. I'm going to schedule this. And Lauren says to me, my husband is in the best shape of his life. I want to schedule him with you. And I'm like, Lauren, sorry.
You're so dead so right. And you go, but only if you do too.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's do it. And I'm like, why would you not celebrate yourself too? And she's like, fine. Like,
you're not wrong.
So that started this journey of like, okay, I'm going to photograph him because he is in this place that he needs to celebrate.
Yeah,
and
he needs to remember this moment.
He needs to see himself in the way that you see him.
For sure. That's what I'm most
like,
excited about.
Yes. And I'm like, Lauren, you also need to see yourself the way he sees you. And it's been this really fun journey. My favorite part.
I'm sure. Tell it. I know where you're going. I can read ESP right now.
So we're doing a planning meeting and I'm like, let's meet together, right? Sometimes we meet on Zoom, but I'm like, this couple, I want to sit with them and find out what they want from the shoot. And
their why.
Yeah. And get to know him because I know you. I don't know him. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, let's just pick a coffee shop in between. So I was like, she gets on Google and she basically finds a coffee shop in between.
And it looks cute.
And it was adorable. Yeah. And so she's like, let's meet here. And we're literally going to sit down at a table and talk about what outfits are you going to wear for your boudoir shoot? A man and a woman. And then together. Mm-hmm. There's definitely
Pinterest.
Yes.
Images.
Pinterest. Yeah.
Vision
shopping. Okay. The coffee shop was in a church.
No joke. No, like in the church. In the church. Not like connected, like in the church. It used to be a sanctuary, tall peach ceiling. Yes.
So I pull up and I park and I'm just like, oh, this is hilarious.
This couldn't be more.
I'm fine with it. Which honestly, I will make sure I tell a little bit more of my story about growing up in church, being a believer, and then being a boudoir photographer, which those two things, they clash.
Yeah.
There's a
lot
of discomfort there.
Yeah.
Even though I truly believe that what I have is a God-given gift.
For sure. 100%.
And
no doubt.
Some people would look at that and be like,
how?
A God-given gift to take pictures of naked people? Yeah, that's right.
No joke.
So sure enough, they show up and they're like, we're game. And I'm like, I'm game. Okay. So we go inside and we're ordering. I think at one point you're like, we love Jesus and we love naked photos. So who cares? Like, whatever. And we like sit at the table. And obviously we get loud. Like we get excited. And there was a couple times it was like, oh. We're like showing each other.
There was a, I'm going to say 60-year-old man doing a what looks like intense Bible study at a table, maybe 5 feet from us. And at multiple times I look over and he makes eye contact with me and I'm like, Sorry. In my head, I'm like,
You're going to want some
"Ooh,
AirPods. Just put those in while we're talking because you're not going to be able to focus.
go back to Psalms or whatever that is."
Oh my gosh. So funny. Oh, but I do think it's fun to watch you almost go, that's not for me. Wait, maybe that's for me.
Maybe that's for me.
And then dive
With
in.
you, I'll try it.
Well, and that's the thing. You are trusting me so much in all of this. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much because I know going into it, if you would have gotten a little flash forward when you reached out to me for your maternity shoot, that eventually we would be doing what we're doing on Wednesday.
I would have said absolutely not.
Oh, never mind. I'm not booking the maternity shoot.
You don't get it until you get it.
Right. It's so hard. It's like you have to be there.
Every woman needs to go on this journey. It's kind of what I do in a sense of like,
Yes.
I can help you with the minor skin thing, but like that's not my calling.
That's
my
exactly
calling
right.
is helping you see you. And yeah, sure, we fix your rosacea in the process. Cool. But like
Yes.
if that gives you the tool to like learn to love yourself, I succeeded.
Again, you're helping them get something out of the way
Yes.
of coming back to themselves.
Right.
Right.
You don't have
the same thing.
rosacea as an excuse anymore.
Exactly.
If I didn't have it, no, you don't.
Yeah, you don't. So now what?
Now what?
Now can you just dive
Pick
into
something
this?
else?
Yes. Which is what we do.
Right.
If a woman feels like she doesn't know who she is right now, where does she even start? Can you give us some practical ways that you have reconnected with yourself?
Yeah. Two things that come to mind initially. The first is identity. And I think that is a really foundational component of Christianity, if you're a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
There is one place to go for that, one book. And there's a million interpretations that I think, like so-and-so author tries to take pieces of the Bible and give, you a to-do list. And I don't think they're doing anything wrong, but I think a lot gets lost in translation, especially as a woman, especially as, Christianity and womanhood have not always gotten along.
Yeah.
So I think that was my place to start. It's like at points of rock bottom, whether it was the job or postpartum sleep deprivation, where I was like, how am I going to survive this? I needed a single source of truth. And I got to be honest, full transparency, I hate reading the Bible. I feel like every translation is a bunch of words that's really hard to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to make it relevant. I buy the kind that I can write in, and I buy the kind that I can highlight, and I buy the kind that is written in English that's not any words that I wouldn't understand. But still, it's like...
And then it has all the pieces that break it down in different ways, right? It's like,
But it's outside of that, it started this like process of learning my own identity. What do I want the foundational components of me to be? And so whether that's religion or whether maybe that's going to somebody who your mom, your husband, who that really loves you and is going to push all of their own baggage to the relationship aside and be like, who am I? What are the foundational components of me? Hearing somebody else say that back to you.
Yes.
It's almost scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's intimate. It's vulnerable. And hearing somebody else say it to you, you're like, whoa, that is so true. But I don't know that I would have said it to myself. Like somebody who's unfiltered, truly unfiltered, because they're taking your heart in their hands and they have to understand the weight of that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So those two things, identity source, whatever that might be, and then let other people help you see it.
Yes.
And this has been that part for me. It's somebody else helped me see it in myself.
Yes.
Right? Like it's a bit of a therapy exercise to like have to go through and look at the photos and be like, I don't like that one, but why? Why don't I like, I love that one. Why?
Yeah.
But I think those would be the two things. Those are kind of philosophical and big, but like
they're huge. If I'm just like, hey, start to find your identity. What?
What's that mean?
But I would say,
a source
honestly,
of truth and
yes.
a trusted friend.
Yes, exactly. That safe place member. And also like episode 2, learning what is true in my head and starting to decipher that, you are starting to find that identity. Those are little steps that you can take to go, oh, that's who I am. Mm-hmm. I don't have to listen to that voice anymore. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to define me, or I tried something new and I was really surprised by how much I loved it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, ooh, I unlocked this new little piece of me.
Yeah.
And your identity can just keep growing. It's a never ending journey. Yeah, I would say.
Absolutely.
I hope it's
We're still doing
ending.
these every 6 months.
Yes, that.
For 30 years.
That. And also, I hope when I'm in my 60s, I do feel confident, but I'm still discovering who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
You're
doing yourself a disservice if you're not.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, last question. Mm-hmm. What's something you wish more women understood about themselves?
Potential. potential. I think we underestimate ourselves more than anybody else.
Yeah.
I think as a parent, as a mom, I have 2 sons, and my second kid's 2. He's like just barely 2, just started talking, so I don't have a lot of data yet. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
My first kid is a dreamer and will think his way out of any problem, right? He is an entrepreneur soul. I can't say that he's 5, but like
Yeah.
it would not surprise me if
Yeah.
this kid started some sort of revolutionary tech business.
Yes.
He thinks in the box. I'm going to do Legos when I grow up. I'm going to be a pilot when I grow up because we like airplanes, right? Like,
Yeah.
but me and my husband are like, dude, you're going to do way more than that. We're not going to say it that way, right? But like, I think that is true of so many women. It's you underestimate yourself.
Yeah.
And they give themselves endless excuses.
Yes.
Right? We all do that. We all give
Mhm.
ourselves grace. Is it
Mhm.
grace? Is it excuses?
Ooh, that's good.
It's both. It's both.
Yes.
Right? There's a little bit of grace of giving yourself time,
Yes.
but there's also a little bit of cop out and giving yourself excuses.
Yes.
Right? I think that if I could give anyone advice, it's just like dream big, put it on a piece of paper. And I think there's a way, like, don't hold yourself back.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it tomorrow. You don't have to get an A+. I'm learning that.
Yes, you are.
But you don't have to give yourself an excuse. It's like you give yourself all the grace in the world for not having done whatever it is your dream is.
Yeah.
But also be your own biggest cheerleader. So don't underestimate what you can do.
Yeah. And as you step into that, like, let yourself surprise yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
And enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And be like, wow, look at this. Look at me.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
I have 5 employees. What?
Right.
My business is 18 months old. I have 5 employees.
And that started with you going, I can't be this version of Lauren anymore because there's more for me.
Yeah.
And taking
Dream
big,
big.
scary steps
Yeah.
to do that. Is the potential there? I hope so.
God,
And
I
you
hope
take
so.
a step,
Yeah. I mean,
right?
my new space opens in August, most likely. And my husband and I just put everything on the line for this. And it might work out. It might not work out. Like, that is what it is. But
Yeah.
like, hopefully 5 years from now, I'm like, we did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Just start believing in yourself. But what if it worked out?
What if?
Yeah.
There's a
That's-
great kids book called What If? Great kids book if you don't have it. And it's truly
Okay.
like, what if somebody didn't think we needed cars? What if somebody didn't like see what happened when we made things roll?
Yes.
It's a really cool kids book. Plug for a book that I'm not connected to in any way.
Yeah,
It's a great
But
kids
that
book.
goes back to the thought that I said at the beginning. When you step into who you are, your people will find you. You're living this role that the world needs.
Yeah.
When you get out of your own way and you are just 100% Lauren, what a beautiful thing to like add to this world.
Yeah. And only
know?
brings more fulfillment and joy, right?
Yes.
That's all kind of what we're all seeking is like the feeling of joy and fulfillment. Some people get that in many different ways, but like the only way you can get there is figuring out what it is by being who you are supposed to be.
For sure. Is there anything else you want to add about when women discover who they are?
I think we as women are very interconnected beings.
Mhm.
And this might sound a little bit depressing, but I feel like there's people in your lives in every chapter for certain reasons, but there's very few people who are in your life forever, right?
Yep.
Like, yes, your family, maybe your best friend here or there, but I feel like when you start to discover yourself, the feeling of self-discovery is a little bit addicting.
Okay.
There's a little bit of like, I want my cohort to experience this with me.
Yes,
And so it sort of spills over.
it does.
And I think the moment right now with me, Leslie, Katie, Heather, we're all kind of in a different phase, but the same phase. We've all got kids under the age of 15. We are all wives of working husbands. We are all primary parent. We are all injectors, if you will, or providers of master's degree level.
Yeah.
And so we have so much in common, yet we're so different. But I think like this moment of us all sort of discovering ourselves, my practice has given them the opportunity to discover what kind of provider they want to be.
Yep.
And I think that spilled over into their personal lives. If I had to like look at it by observation,
Yes.
they might disagree, and that's totally okay. There's like no pressure in it. But I think we as women encourage, or we almost like spark this journey in others. And I
Yes.
think that's what you've done for me.
Yeah.
And my guess is this came from something in your life, like some journey in your life. And that's where like you've become passionate about this process.
Right.
And so I've now become passionate about this process.
Yeah.
And not that I'm forcing it on anyone else, but like the positive energy that comes from it is somebody else is like, well, cool. I want to, what is that?
Yep.
Right. And I hope that's what my practice becomes.
Yes, it is totally what your practice is becoming.
Yeah. But the med spa space is messy in that the average life of an employee is 18 months.
Ooh.
It's really, really high turnover for a lot of reasons, but I think the yucky, like the greed and the feelings that are what a lot of med spas are built upon, like telling women they need more,
Yeah.
it's it burns people out emotionally.
Yeah.
It in a soul kind of way, not in a mental energy kind of way. In a this is hurting me in my soul, and I couldn't tell you why other than I don't want to work there. I
Yeah.
don't want to be part of that. And so I want to change the narrative, not only in the employee space, but in the client space or in the patient space.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wanted to build a med spa that I wanted to work at or I wanted to be a patient at, both of those things. And so I hope that's what the business becomes, right? I hope it becomes, they come to me for Botox, but that's not what they're getting.
Right.
That might be
Yes.
the first step in a bigger journey of like, I get to be part of their lives and I do a lot of therapy without wanting to do therapy, but like, it's because we share lives and
Yeah.
we're both going through things. And women that want Botox are my age.
Right. Yeah.
We're all we got a lot in common.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
I hope that's what it becomes. And my whole point is to say, as you rediscover yourself, bring people with you.
Yes.
A rising tide floats all boats. I say that way too often, and it's
I
not
love
mine.
that. I love that.
But like, rise the tide for everyone.
Yes.
Raise the tide for
Yeah.
everyone.
Whatever grammatically correct word is there.
Yeah.
That means is just, it's so powerful. You show up as kind of this different person, and people are like, there's something going
is
on
it?
here.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they never ask you, but I think that you naturally start calling it out in them.
For sure.
Whether it's
Whether they
a
want it or not.
decision they made or a comment where they're being hard on themselves. And,
Yeah.
hey, hold on. Like, no.
Yeah.
What we're feeling for ourselves, we want the people around us to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that piece of community that I'm watching, even through this podcast,
Yeah.
of the person who sits with me and like the way that they have started to discover who they are, started to, stop listening to these voices, whatever they've really leaned into, they bring people along.
For sure.
And it is so cool.
Yeah.
And I love to watch that just little connection. I heard her. I want to tell my sister that. My friend said this the other day, and I want to remind her of this. And it's just this, again, say it again. A rising tide
floats all boats. You
floats
texted
all
me the
boats.
other day and you were like, I have one of your clients here for a maternity. And I was like, you didn't tell me who, and that's privacy, and I completely get it. But I'm like, I want to know who just so I can give them a high five.
Yes.
I want to be like, how was it?
She
Was
did
it
it.
so amazing? And they all come back and tell me. So I'm not, it
You're
will
like,
happen.
it will come back. Well,
It will.
especially because she's pregnant, so she can't see you right
Fair
now.
enough.
And she's pissed about it.
Fair enough. I'll
She
find out.
misses you.
Yeah.
But it is such a cool thing once you start to feel reconnected with yourself.
Yeah.
You want other women to feel that way.
Yes.
And let's brag about the way that we are reconnecting with ourselves. Like I learned this about myself the other day. Tell your friends that. Because that inspires them. I want to learn about that.
How?
About myself.
Tell me
How'd
how.
you do that?
Yeah.
And so it's a very cool thing.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I mean, do it. Book the shoot.
Book the shoot.
I've done 6 or 5. 5? This will be number 5?
Yeah.
I think number
Yeah.
5. Has anybody done more than that, or am I that person?
No, I've had more. I should figure out the top number, but yes, I've definitely had more than that.
I'm really excited for the next 2 employees that I'm thinking about hiring. One of them I feel like she needs this. And I'll tell you that story when it all happens and it all comes together. But like, I don't even need to be there. I like go do the headshots.
Right.
And just
let
you do what you do.
Just see.
And she'll come back to me at a totally transformed woman in a sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yes.
What was before the shoot is no longer. It's different.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, of course. Lauren and I have had such beautiful conversation. I think just because of the way we've worked together between the shoots, just like you heard in the interview. But she really does just embrace that quote of a rising tide floats all boats. And I appreciate the way that she brings her team along and other women along in this journey. It's just so beautiful. We were going back and forth as we were planning this podcast. She's like, her A+ mentality is like, do I need to be prepared? And I'm like, no, just show up. We're just going to have a conversation. Well, which Lauren are you interviewing? Is it like Lauren, the med spa owner, or Lauren, the woman? And I'm like, all of them. And it turned out so beautiful. One of the things she said to me as we were going back and forth talking about the podcast was women who love themselves can love others really well. And I thought that that was such a good reminder of another reason that we're doing this work. Okay, it's time for the song of the episode. The song recommendation this week. It's another Caitlin Tarver song. Can you guys tell? I just love her lyrics so much. It's called One Without the Other. I'm going to read a couple of these lyrics to you just because I think they're very cool, but will you please go listen to this song? I think my favorite line in the whole song is she says, "You can't criticize every version of yourself." Another part I love, she says, "All my favorite nights and the things I learned to hide, they can both exist in me. It used to scare me, but when it's said and done, I'm the only one who can really set me free. I've been the bad guy and I've been the sunshine. It took me this long to discover all the things I regret and the things I like best. Can't have one without the other." So make sure you tune into that one. It is one of my favorite songs. It's got such a sweet, moody little vibe. Caitlin Tarver, One Without the Other. And before we wrap it up today, I just want to sit with this for a second. What if you actually don't need to fix anything? If discovering who you are isn't about becoming something new, but finally letting go of everything that you thought you had to be. And I think this idea of discovering who we are can feel overwhelming. But what if instead of trying to figure it all out, we just stay curious? Curious about what feels like you. Curious about what lights you up. Curious about what no longer fits. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You could hear that in that conversation. This isn't something that we just wake up and we discover who we are. It's about taking these small steps. It's about a starting point. It would be great if you would go back through this interview and ask yourself the questions that I asked Lauren. Spend some time thinking about these things. But really, I want to end this episode with a little challenge for you. This is actually a little peek into the 31-day challenge that I created, and I will make sure that I put a link in the show notes so you can check it out. But I was just thinking about one of the challenges and how perfectly it aligns with this episode. So here's your challenge this week. I want you to think back to something that you loved to do when you were young, something you did just for fun, not for the outcome. There was no purpose. There was no pressure. There was no other reason except for the joy. And I want you to do it again, not because it's productive, not because it makes sense, but because somewhere in that joy, there's a piece of you. So start there. Pay attention to how it feels to let yourself play again. I think the more that you notice what feels like you, the harder it becomes to go back to what's not. And that's where things really start to shift. I really am so excited for you to meet the you that's on the other side of this journey. Before I go, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the podcast, for sharing this with your friends. This week on Instagram, I asked you to get on, whether it was Spotify or YouTube or Apple Podcasts, and do the things that it takes to boost this podcast. And it's hard for me to ask that of you because this was never a goal to just become this big talking head that I'm hoping everybody's listening to. That's not what I want. My goal is that my voice and this message and this journey ends up in the right people's ears. And the way that it does that is on Apple Podcasts when you're rating it, on Spotify when you're leaving comments, on YouTube, again, leaving comments, but also continue to share this with your friends. If you hear an episode and it just kind of strikes something in you, remember, a rising tide floats all boats. Share it, spread it, because I'm sure that you have friends, you have family members who need the encouragement to step into this, into finding themselves and loving on themselves a little bit more. I'll see you next time. We only have 2 episodes left. We're going to bring this around full circle. I, again, cannot wait for you to meet the you on the other side of this journey. Bye for now.